Breaking news from Barcelona. The Catalan Giants have officially tabled a €30 million offer for Premier League star Daniel Muñoz from Crystal Palace. Hansi Flick and Deco are working overtime to strengthen the squad before the financial window closes, and this move could change everything for Barca's defense. Meanwhile, ahead of El Clásico at the Santiago Bernabéu, Hansi Flick is preparing a bold lineup featuring De Jong, Pedri, Lamine Yamal, Rashford and Ferran Torres. With Real Madrid in red-hot form, this could be one of the most intense Clásicos in recent years. Stay tuned as we break down all the latest transfer updates, tactical analysis, and what Flick must do to outsmart Xabi Alonso's men. Barcelona table €30 million offer for 29-year-old Premier League right-back, report. According to a report from Fischages, it has come to light that Barcelona have submitted a proposal of around €30 million to sign Crystal Palace's 29-year-old right-back Daniel Muñoz. With Hansi Flick now steering the team and Deco managing transfer operations, Barcelona are actively looking to reinforce their right flank. The club views the 29-year-old Colombian as a key target who could bring both attacking drive and defensive solidity to the squad. Sources close to the negotiations suggest Barcelona are pushing to accelerate talks, mindful of La Liga's 1:1 financial rule, which requires them to manage spending and income carefully. Flick has reportedly identified the need for a dependable fullback capable of balancing offensive runs with defensive discipline, a role Muñoz has performed consistently in the Premier League since his arrival from Genk in 2023. Contract situation gives Palace the upper hand. Muñoz's contract with Crystal Palace runs until 2028, putting the English club in a strong negotiating position. Palace are said to be reluctant to part with one of their key players unless a concrete and satisfactory offer is presented. The estimated €30 million fee serves as the starting point, but any deal will depend on Barcelona's ability to structure a financially viable offer within league regulations. The Catalan side must also study the timing of payments and player registration limits before finalizing any move. For Barcelona, signing Muñoz, who has expressed his admiration for the Catalan team in the past, would represent more than just a defensive upgrade. It would add valuable Premier League experience, reliability and tactical flexibility, qualities the club has been seeking since the departure of previous right-back options. Barcelona predicted 11 versus Real Madrid. De Jong starts, €50 million forward to return as well. A massive El Clásico awaits FC Barcelona at the Santiago Bernabéu, and La Blaugrana will look to go out for the victory. However, unlike last season, the Catalan Giants will likely have a much harder time beating Los Blancos in this fixture. After all, Xabi Alonso's team is in great form right now and Barca is still figuring things out with various key players injured as well. Still, no El Clásico is ever won on paper, and Barcelona should look to aim for a win no matter what. With the players at his disposal currently, here is how Hansi Flick's side could line up for this game. Expected lineup. Goalkeeper, Wojciech Szczesny. Not exactly at the level of Joan Garcia in terms of his ability right now, but Wojciech Szczesny is Barca's best bet for this game. Hopefully the Polish goalkeeper can keep the opposition out. Right back, Jules Koundé. The French defender had some fitness issues ahead of the game, but they seem to have been cleared up. If he is fully fit, he seems to be the likely option to start at the back. Center back, Eric Garcia. There is no denying Eric Garcia's commitment and intensity within this squad, and maybe those things will factor in if he ends up starting. The Spaniard could cause issues for Real Madrid in this game for sure. Center back, Pau Cubarsí. Despite some errors here and there, Pau Cubarsí's place in this team remains a guarantee. The Spaniard has the ability to pick out any kind of pass, and that is exactly what Barca will be looking to get out from him. Left back, Alejandro Balde. With the electric fullback fit and available, Barca should be hopeful about the options that he can provide on the flanks against Los Blancos. CDM, Frenkie de Jong. A proper orchestrator in the midfield, Frenkie de Jong's presence and positioning always help Barca out in tough positions. Starting him remains a typical guarantee for Hansi Flick's team. CDM, Pedri. Words simply cannot do justice to the magic that Pedri can produce on the field. With him there, Barca can rest assured that the Spaniard will make the right decisions at the right time. RAM, Lamine Yamal. A lot of controversy and hype has been created surrounding this fixture due to Lamine Yamal's recent words. However, if there is one player on the planet who knows how to deal with excessive amounts of pressure and backlash, it's the young winger. Fermín López. Having scored a hat-trick in his last game, Fermín López must be brimming with confidence right now. That is exactly the kind of clinical player Barcelona need in the final third, and he can offer lethal solutions over there. Marcus Rashford. A man in form, Marcus Rashford has been finding the net quite a lot recently. Fortunately for La Blaugrana, the English forward can offer a lot to the team and could be a great asset against Los Blancos. Center forward, Ferran Torres. The €50 million rated Spanish forward did not play in the last game, but if he is ready enough to start, there is no game worth starting in over the course of this La Liga season compared to El Clásico. Why Hansi Flick must swallow his pride and adjust Barcelona's defensive system for El Clásico. It is unfortunate that Hansi Flick will not be on the sidelines for perhaps the most important game of the season so far, but that does not liberate him from the responsibility of what unfolds on the field against Real Madrid later today. The manager may well be physically absent on the sidelines. However, the tactical setup and dynamics of Barcelona's performance will still be dictated by what he has in mind. There is, however, a real need to reconsider multiple facets of his setup ahead of the blockbuster clash. Flick has largely been loyal to his idea of a high-risk, high-reward game plan over the past year, and his stubbornness has transformed Barcelona into a team that can keep up with the high physical demands of the system. It brought the team almost all the success in the world last time around, but there is a real feeling that if the manager must swallow his pride and tweak his philosophy for one game, it is today's Clásico. Real Madrid enter the game with weapons tailor-made to exploit all of Barcelona's weaknesses. A red-hot Kylian Mbappé, a Vinicius Jr who has rediscovered his mojo, an Arda Güler who can slice open defenses, and the return of Jude Bellingham to the dynamics all spell trouble for Barcelona. The approach today thus becomes all the more important, especially in defense. Here are three arenas Flick must be extra cautious about if Barcelona are to minimize Los Blancos' threat and improve their advantage on the night. The right defensive selection. Flick's dilemma will begin right from the selection of his backline, for he has multiple options and profiles in the department and has still not found the right formula. For starters, there is a cloud of doubt over the right-back position, especially with Jules Koundé looking error-prone and distracted this season. With the right-back set to go up against Vinicius, it becomes fundamental that the player in the position be confident and maintain a psychological edge. Given how Koundé has looked in recent games, it is unclear if he can keep up with Vinicius' speed, trickery and most importantly, his antics on the field. Eric Garcia and Ronald Araujo are also options to feature on the right, and that is a question for Flick to answer considering all the pros and cons. At center-back, Pau Cubarsí is the only guaranteed starter, with only Araujo and Garcia being the only options to feature alongside him. While Araujo provides the physicality and pace, he is not as apt at holding his line and is error-prone. Andreas Christensen provides superior distribution and effectiveness on the offside trap, but he is unavailable for this fixture. Meanwhile, Garcia may not have the physicality required to keep Mbappé at bay. Big decisions thus await. Adjusting the line. The selection of personnel is the first step to Flick setting up the ideal defensive plan. The second, and perhaps most fundamental one however, is deciding how high the line should operate. Barcelona's plans over the past year have been based on the defense pushing as high as the middle of the field in possession, thus pushing more numbers forward and creating attacking openings. The downside of that, however, is the spaces left behind the defense for oppositions to run into, something teams have done with ease this season, given the lack of surgical precision on the offside trap. With Mbappé and Vinicius in their ranks, Los Blancos will look to capitalize on that very point in Barcelona's setup, and it is thus crucial that Flick readjusts his line. It will not be easy for the manager to scrap an idea he has advocated for so long later today, but that is precisely why he must swallow his pride, at least to some extent. After all, this game warrants that change. While a readjustment does not imply a complete change in idea, Flick must look to deploy the defense slightly lower than they typically rest, thereby moving the defensive line a little deeper to limit the spaces behind them. Concurrently, an alternative strategy will be needed for ball progression, given the resultant disconnect between the defense and midfield. A persistently high pressure. Barcelona's defense, while primarily led by the backline, also extends its responsibility across the field all the way to the striker, that is, the press the team exhibits off the ball. The Catalans' press, by far, is the single most important facet of their game plan. The high defensive line thrives on the collective press effort, something that has lacked this season. Whenever Barcelona have turned up with energy in their tanks and an effective press, oppositions have had no answers. Even PSG, who went on to beat Barcelona in the UCL, were suffocated and helpless in the opening half hour when Flick's side pressed effectively. What is important later today, thus, is for Barcelona's press to be tireless, coordinated, and effective without dropping in intensity across the 90 minutes. Winning the second balls, succeeding in duels, and pressuring from the very front will be crucial in creating imbalances and getting into scoring positions. Real Madrid too this season have followed a similar school of football under Xabi Alonso and will also enter the game ready to press with intensity. It is the team with the more effective press, thus who will reign supreme tonight and go on to win the game. Concurrently, however, it is important that Barcelona understands how to strike the balance between going all out in pressing and when to drop deep in defense. After all, it was a failure in that judgment that cost them dearly late versus Sevilla, and the team will require maturity in that respect. What a massive few days for Barcelona. From launching a €30 million bid for Daniel Muñoz to preparing for a historic El Clásico, the pressure couldn't be higher at Camp Nou. Will Flick's tactical adjustments be enough to stop Mbappé, Vinicius Jr, and Bellingham? High voltage, and will the Colombian right-back be the missing piece Barca have been searching for? Colombia. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a single Barcelona news update.